Right before this, I filmed my current skincare routine because that seemed to be a request from a few people. And then what was also requested in the video I posted back after my little break was what my makeup was in that video. Which, if you've been around for a long time, it is not going to be any different from like the last few makeup videos that I've done. I don't film makeup videos all that often, mostly because they don't seem to really be that of much interest to people. But they're also exactly the same almost every time I do them. I am a creature of habit. I find a routine that I like and I like stick with it. I'm not a very adventurous person, even though I love makeup. And at this point I love collecting makeup, because that's basically what I do. I very rarely go outside of, at least lately. Lately, I have very rarely gone outside of like my basic products, probably just because my life is you know, such a mess at the moment. I kind of like crave some kind of routine and some kind of normal. So maybe that's why my makeup routine like never changes. My skincare routine has been very consistent as well. I hardly change that up anymore. So I'm just craving like routine. So it's not very interesting, and if you've watched me for a while, you've seen this a million times before, but maybe you haven't watched those videos, or maybe you just like watching me put on the same makeup over and over again. Either way, this one's for you, the ones who wanted to know what makeup I was wearing in my last video, or the Beauty Heroes video that I posted, because that will not be my last video at this point. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. I don't know yet if I'm gonna do any kind of favorites videos for 2021. Usually I do them at the end of December, but I wasn't really posting anything in December. I was just kind of taking it easy. And really, I don't necessarily know that I had skincare favorites and makeup favorites. It's basically this. So, I mean, maybe I can try to pull something together before the end of January, just to sort of have something, just so if you want to reference what my absolute favorites were, even though it's exactly this, but it's just a different title. We'll see. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not really sure yet, but yeah, I'm hoping this year is better, and I discover some really cool things, or I don't know. I just hope this year is better for a lot of reasons. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to use is the Beauty Counter. Oh, what is this even actually called? Glow First Priming Serum. Beauty Counter has sent me a few products over the last year, and they sent me, I think this is the most recent thing that they've sent me, or maybe it was the mascara. I'm not sure. I don't know where the mascara is at the moment. It's here somewhere amongst my stuff. But I've been using this when I do my makeup. I have been for the last couple of months. It's like kind of cool. It's got bubbles in it. Can you see that it's got like bubbles in it? So it's not like mica, but it has like bubbles in it. It's kind of cool. So I have already done my skincare, and this is pretty hydrating. So I'm just gonna use one pump of that. I'm not gonna use like a ton. Does this make any kind of difference in my makeup? I don't know, because I mean, it's supposed to help like with glow, but I think my skincare does that enough already, but I just use it anyway. Test it out, see how it works, you know? So that's the first thing that I do. It's all right. Would I rebuy it? I don't know. I don't really know that most primers do much of anything. The only primer that I really like that really does something for me is the Alima Pure Prep and Prime, because it's got like this silicone-like texture, but it's not silicone, and it's like thicker, so it does sort of like sit in my pores a bit more than, you know, other primers don't really do that. I think it's just sort of like to prep the skin, but the Prep and Prime I like because it sort of sits in the pores and fills them in a little bit, so the pores are a little bit less noticeable when you're someone like me who has larger pores. I do have very large pores all over my face. And I mean, I like accept it at this point. It is what it is, but like, it's nice to sometimes have something that like blurs that out a bit. I did recently buy, I think I did anyway, I actually haven't opened the package and I cannot remember what I ordered. Over Black Friday, I placed an order with Clove & Hollow. I'm pretty sure I bought their primer, which I think is supposed to be like a blurring primer as well. So I need to pull that out and give it a give it a test. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Alima Pure Pressed Foundation, which I'm just scraping the edges of this pan at this point. Trying to finish it. No foundation left behind. This is my favorite foundation. I pretty much used this like all year. I don't really know that I used much else last year. I'm trying to think. I might have to go back to some of my videos to see like what else I used. I probably used the loose foundation a little bit before I ran out of it. And then, did I use any, ooh, it's like, I'm crunching it around now. I can't remember if I used any liquid foundation or not at any point. But if you want to see a demo of the powder foundation or the pressed foundation, I can leave that below because I did do that this year. That was one of the things that I did, you know, one of the things that I did this year when I was in the mental headspace to do it. I'm hoping to be better about stuff this year. It all depends on, you know, my situation and how much I'm able to, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but hopefully this year is better. Hopefully this year is better. So I love this because it just evens out my skin like so well. Just like, I think this might be done for because it's now like crumbly and like all over the place. It's all over my vanity. But yeah, just evens out the skin tone. It looks really good all day. It stays all day. It doesn't like wear off unless I'm like actively really touching my face, which some days happens. Some days I do touch my face a bit more than other days. Okay, so then the next thing I do is concealer, and I use the Alima Pure Loose Powder Concealer, and mine is in the shade Linen. I do believe the shade I'm using currently in the pressed foundation is Sesame. It's either Sesame or Nutmeg. I'm not actually sure which one it is. So I do under and around my eyes. I very rarely do eyeshadow these days. I did wear makeup like one time in December because I went out to dinner with a coworker, and I did wear my I wore my Prisma palette eyeshadow in Mink, the one that I collabed on with Prisma palette, which if you haven't picked it up, what's the matter with you? Just kidding. It's like the best neutral color. I love it because it like goes with everything. If you want to wear something but you don't know what. I also do in between my eyebrows because this is usually sort of like a red area for me. And then I do around my nose, because that's also an area that gets pretty red. And then if I have any other like big glaring spots like this one or this one, I'll do a little bit extra on those spots to help bring the redness down a little bit. Obviously it does nothing for texture, but just bring the color down a little. All right, so that's that. So Alima Pure foundation and concealer. Then my setting powder, I am using the Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Breezy. I do really like this. Kosas just re-released their 10-second eyeshadows. What are your thoughts on the re-release of the 10-second eyeshadow? So they kept 3 of the more neutral colors that they had, and then they released 3 new neutral colors. So they are all like shades of neutral, which I like, but I also don't like because like some of the colors that they discontinued, I really loved. Like 333 was one of my favorites. Fahrenheit, the really hot pink one, and now they're just all like neutrals. It's kind of boring. I did order a few though, to compare them to the old formula. And I bought one. Did I buy one new color or two? I can't remember. I bought the one that was Globe, formerly Globe. Anyway, whatever. I do really like this. I do think it looks really good on my skin. And it's basically the only setting powder I've been using, you know, for the last couple of months since I bought it. I really haven't pulled out any other setting powders and I really like it. Okay, so when I'm wearing powder, I do spray my face with a setting spray. This is the Jane Iredale Paw Mist Hydration Spray. Because I find that it helps the powders sort of like stick better, and like sort of, because it sort of like helps it melt into the skin a little bit faster. Like I do find my powder inhaling that, my powder foundation does like melt into the skin after a while, but this sort of like helps it do that a little bit faster. All right, so while I'm not gonna do eyeshadow today because I am just, the only thing I'm doing today is going to the vet. I need to pick up some medicine for my cat. I'm just gonna do brows. I'm not gonna do eyeshadow. So while we're waiting for the rest of the face to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows. And I'm using the Kosas Air Brow, which I like. I like it a lot. I need to pull out and find the Fit Glow one, because I did buy that. Oh no, they sent it to me. They sent that one to me, and I still haven't tried it. I did buy the Cloven Hollow brow product as well, but have not tried that one out yet. So that's another brow product I need to pull out. But this one is in the shade, is this medium brown? Yeah, medium brown. So it matches my brows. It matches my brows and my hair pretty well. It doesn't make them look like too big and bushy, but it helps fill in like the areas where they're kind of sparse, sort of like in the front. Very quick too, just a couple of through. Anyway, I really like that. I like the packaging, it's like cute. Okay, so the rest of what I use is, again, it's all Alima Pure. It's my favorite makeup on the planet. I loved Modern Minerals until they stopped doing makeup. Like their foundation was really beautiful. I loved their foundation, but she's focusing more on like hair care and stuff like that now. Sad, sad, sad. Okay, so I'm using the bronzer in the shade Moana Loa, which, let's see, can I show you how much of this bronzer I've managed to use so far? Like with powder products, it is kind of like, it takes a long time to use these things up, especially the loose products. But I would say like I've used like a third of this because it's my favorite bronzer. I basically use it every time that I do my makeup, you know, my everyday makeup. I also use the sculpting brush from Alima Pure. I did also use the foundation brush from Alima Pure for my foundation. The brush for my concealer is a very old Sedona lace brush that they don't make anymore. But it's like this, it's sort of like big, like kind of dense, but not very dense, like fluffy brush. I use the medium powder brush for my setting powder. And then I'll tell you the other brushes when I get to blush and highlighter. So, we just put on the bronzer until it looks the way we want it to. Just give the face a little color and shape. I love Alima Pure. I mean, I've always really been like a powder minimalist kind of makeup person anyway. Like before I got into blogging, I was using Bare Minerals and I used, you know, powder foundation and a blush and not much else. And I've sort of reverted back to that only with, you know, products that are cleaner. Not that Bare Minerals is like toxic or anything, but they in my opinion, they contain a lot of like unnecessary ingredients and very irritating for my skin. Cause like when I for the last couple of years that I used the Bare Minerals, my face was very itchy, and it was from like the bismuth oxychloride that they put in it. Or at least they did. I don't know what their formulas look like now, actually. I haven't looked in a long time, especially because I think they're owned by a parent company that tests on animals at this point. But yeah, my face was like very itchy. And I just put up with it because I didn't know what else to use. I mean, I liked the way that it looked, but my face was itchy, but I didn't know why. But now it's, you know, researching ingredients and stuff like that. I know it was the bismuth oxychloride making my face itchy. All right, so that's the bronzer. Nice and looks like I've seen some sun. So now I'm going to use the Satin Matte Blush in Honey Rose from Alima Pure. And I also use the blush brush from Alima Pure. I've used Alima Pure blushes like all the time. I use Honey Rose a lot. I also use the Apricot one a lot. I'm trying to think if I use, what other shades I use. Oh, is it pink? There's another one that I use a lot, but Honey Rose and Apricot are my two most used blushes because they pretty much go with everything. You know, on a day when I'm wearing more pink, you know, I'll pull out the Honey Rose, or like on a day when I'm wearing something brown or something like more orange or yellow, I'll pull out the Apricot one. I very rarely deviate. And I just do the cheeks. I go over the nose like a tiny bit, and then I do the forehead. That's that. It's very quick. I can do this in like less than 5 minutes if I'm not like talking through it. Okay, so then my highlighter is the Alima Pure highlighter in Luna. This is my favorite. I have all of the Alima Pure highlighters, but this is my favorite because it's like this neutral gold that sort of like goes with everything. A lot of their other ones are sort of like pinky or more like frosty, icy-ish. But this one has like, it's not gold, but it's not, I don't know. I love this one. This is just my favorite. It's just the best one for every day. It's not too like, it's not like glitter. It's not like bam in your face. I always do like the middle of my face, and then I do the tops of my cheeks. It's for like a subtle, but like lit from within kind of thing. All right, so then for mascara, I've been using the Fit Glow Good Lash. This is the newer one with the new brush that doesn't look like a Christmas tree. I mean, I like this mascara, but it's kind of annoying to remove, not gonna lie. It doesn't sort of like melt off the way that most natural mascaras do. I feel like it almost has like this, I don't know if it's like a tubing effect or what, but it doesn't like dissolve and melt the way other ones do. It just sort of like flakes off. And if like, even when I use like a cleansing oil or milk, it just leaves like flakes all over. Or if I try to go over it with like a micellar water or something, there's just like flakes all over. So I like the way my lashes look, but I'm not super crazy about the formula. All right, I'm not gonna make you watch this. I'll put one on one eye and then one on, you know, so you can see the difference. Okay, just 1 second. All right, so here's 2 coats of the sort of like fluffier side, and then 1 coat with the, I'm guessing the lengthening side. So that's what I like to do. That's what that looks like. All right, managed to poke myself in both of my eyes with that mascara wand, so that's fun. All right, so the last thing is lips. And the lip item that I was wearing in my Beauty Heroes video was the In Beauty Project Lip Glaze in Extra Glaze. This is the one that smells like a donut. I love it. I mean, this is basically the only lip color I wear anymore. It's like this like nude gloss thing with a little bit of shimmer. Cause like I use the Beam one from Fit Glow. Couldn't remember that name for a minute. I'm either using one of those two. And this is the one that I pulled out recently because I was cleaning up. I had a bunch of stuff just hanging out, so I was cleaning up and I pulled out, you know, my In Beauty Project lip glazes. And then I was like, oh, the donut one. I haven't worn that in such a long time. So I pulled that out to start wearing it. So that's it. That's the makeup that I was wearing in that video. It's just powder. It's very simple. You know, it's like a 5-minute, you know, if you're not talking your way through it. It's like glowy, but healthy looking, and it's not too much, at least not in my opinion. I don't know, it's like my everyday makeup when I do wear makeup. My favorite makeup of 2021, basically. So if I do that video, I mean, this will all be in it. Because this is basically, with some variation of the blush, this is basically what I wore all year. You know, I mean, like the brow product and the mascara changed a bit too, but the foundation I used the majority of last year was the pressed foundation from Alima Pure. The loose concealer was the concealer that I used basically all year. That Moana Loa bronzer, I mean, this is the makeup that I used basically all last year. So that's everything that I've got for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Check out Alima Pure if you have not yet, because I highly recommend them. They are my favorite makeup. Definitely by far, if I ever stopped blogging, it's probably the only makeup that I would continue using just because I love it. It does me well. You know, there's lots of blush options, but the foundation always looks good on me when I'm breaking out, when I'm not breaking out. Yeah, I just love it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. I will see you in my next one.